Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the On the Go post show with your Go Morning team. And a number of us have been up since last night. We were on the 11 o'clock show, really helping to keep track of all of the election results. I'm Danielle Wiggins with Maureen Kyle, Austin Love, Holly Strano, Jasmine Monroe. Dave Chadowski, you're joining the ceiling where he is. And we're also joined with Lindsay Love. So Lindsay Love, Lord, I've been up too long. I done married Lindsay and Austin.
Hey, Lindsay, we're engaged. We're married. How about that?
Oh my goodness. Today I had to start drinking coffee because I'm all over the place. But Lindsay Buckingham, let me get her name right. See, Jasmine, I don't only just mess up your name. So, but yeah, a historic election. We still don't know the projected winner of the presidential election, but like we've been saying all morning on Go, that is not out of the ordinary. But Ohio did go to President Trump, the projected winner. And Austin, what's that breakdown of how Ohio's looking?
Yeah, so not out of the ordinary that we might not see the results even like obviously this morning, but also maybe not within the day. And it's kind of become the trend that Ohio has turned a little red here as well. This is the second election in a row that President Trump has won in Ohio, taking over the Buckeye State. So yesterday, it was about midnight that it was announced where he was victorious over Joe Biden and won by 53%, winning the 18 electoral college votes that Ohio provides, just real battleground state that we have here in Ohio. So yeah, I'll break down those numbers for you real quick here. So 53% of the vote went to President Trump, tallied over 3 million votes for President Trump. That's compared to Joe Biden's 45% of the votes with just over 2.5 million votes. So Trump winning all but 77 counties here in Ohio. Most of those
7 counties, seven. Remember, all but 7.
Sorry. All but 7. I was looking at the 88. So yeah, all but 7 of the 88 counties. Yeah, thanks for correcting me on that. So and most of those 7 counties that Joe Biden won were more of like the urban counties, such as Cuyahoga County, where we live, where Joe Biden won pretty handily. But it's been increasingly harder for Democrats to win in Ohio. For example, looking back at Barack Obama, he was the last presidential candidate to win in Ohio. That was a Democrat, and he only won 18 of the 88 Ohio counties. So really the question's been asked about with, in politics here in Ohio is Ohio the predominant swing state that it used to be? And I think the answer is probably not. After talking to Lee Fisher, he's the dean of the Cleveland Marshall College of Law, Cleveland State. He said that while it's probably not the swing state that it was a few years ago, it's still in that top 5, top 10 swing state, really. So with the electoral college, there's really, everyone votes, of course, counts, but some states count more than others, and Ohio is really counted. But now we're kind of seeing those swing states be, the Michigans, the Pennsylvania. Right now, Georgia's becoming a big one right now too. So, but of course, good news for President Trump. A Republican has never been elected to office without first winning Ohio. So we're going to see if that's the case here. Hopefully within a few days, we're going to see. But
we shall see.
If history actually plays itself out.
Well, the state's also picked the winner every time since 1964.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I spoke over you, Dave. What did you say?
I said the state of Ohio has picked the winner every time since 1964. So that's
incredible.
Yeah.
So I see you guys joining in. Dawn Broadway, she said she went to bed at 10 but woke up at 2:30 because she just couldn't sleep, or she hold on the comments. Yeah, so couldn't sleep, and we want to see all of you guys joining in with the comments. And remember, this is a conversation between all of us. We don't want to just talk at you, but we want you to join the conversation as well. All you have to do is put your comment, your perspective in that comment section there. And Maureen, you talked to our NBC national reporter Tracy Potts about some interesting things that President Trump said overnight. What's going on with the Supreme Court getting involved?
Yes. What we need to clarify here is they're during his speech, he said, and I'm going to quote him directly, "We'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court. We want all voting to stop." So what he's talking about is a battle that he started even before we started counting votes. He was saying places like Pennsylvania, it's fraud if they continue to vote past November 3rd. Now, nobody is voting past November 3rd. What Pennsylvania has allowed here is they are allowing ballots to arrive in the mail up to November 6th. So nobody's voting anymore. It has to be postmarked. There's different rules when it comes to this. So when he says that we're going to the Supreme Court because he wants voting to stop, that's not exactly what's going to happen here. So Tracy and I were talking about this morning. What's going to happen is that every state has the right to continue votes that were passed. So we're going to keep getting the counting happening, but not, but nobody is voting here. So there is one thing that is kind of pending a Republican appeal. So there is something that's pending in the Supreme Court. It's whether they can, Pennsylvania can count the votes that arrive in the mail from Wednesday to Friday. So the Supreme Court said yes already, but they also wrote language in there saying we might revisit that after the election. So that's where that gray area is. But really, it's really probably not going to end up in the Supreme Court.
It confuses me personally because when I think about it, like Ohio has such a long time, they have early voting, so you can go out and vote. So it's pretty much just like the same thing. It's just Pennsylvania not putting up those envelopes until election day. So that's 3 million, 2 million votes that you have to do immediately that have and then produce the outcome the same night. That's insane. I really do believe personally, I believe that all states, it should be more than one day that you can vote.
And I think this is what's confusing here because different states have different rules. And so what's true for us sitting here in Ohio is not exactly what's true for all of the other states surrounding us. And there are no rules that changed just for this election. So we have to also keep that in mind. So the way people are voting, the way it's counted, the way these are being tabulated has not changed just specialty for President Trump or for candidate Joe Biden. And, if you think about it, last night, people were still in line at 7:30 and then, they had to get in the building. The line was cut off. People were still voting at 9 o'clock, but they were legitimately in the line. So those votes can be counted. So really, it's just a waiting game right now for votes to be counted. I asked Tracy too, if it goes to a recount, like, is there any scenario where we go to a recount? And that would really be Pennsylvania that we would watch for that. She said in Pennsylvania, and again, this is different for every state, but in Pennsylvania specifically, it's less than 0.5% of the vote. Like if it comes down to less than 0.5% of the vote, that's when we could trigger an automatic recount. I mean, if it's a 1% difference in the vote, we're not going into a recount situation. And now
I think she also mentioned, Maureen, something that I thought was pretty unique. I'm from Pennsylvania, we all know, but they did split the vote. So they knew that just in case if this were to be a problem, to separate those mail-in ballots so they can know the difference. So I thought that was something that, it's going to be, if it does go to the Supreme Court, they'll have the exact number of votes that came in after the polls closed.
Speaking of Pennsylvania, let me get this in from NBC News as that Allegheny County, am I pronouncing that correctly? So it's suspended mail-in ballot scanning until 10 a.m. today. So they stopped counting and they say they're going to pick up again at 10.
They were smart. They went home and went to bed.
Yeah, they were
not like us.
You did not.
Jealous.
So basically what you guys are talking about is Ohio counts their absentee votes first, and 31 states do that. So 31 states can do that, but Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, all states we're still waiting on. They can't touch the absentee ballots until the polls close, not even in the morning. It's when the polls close. And I agree with you, Jasmine, to the sense of I wish everyone was on the same playing field so we could find these results. But then the other argument there is that states, the people will say states should be able to govern themselves, and you don't want the federal government to govern the states. So that's where
states' rights. That's where that plays in. And then Wanda, she said, she went to bed overnight, but yet woke up because she wanted to see who won the presidency. Well, we're all waiting for that answer.
Stay
And
tuned.
as you say, we're continuing to cover this. And I see a lot of people are on right now, really chiming in on this discussion. We have to end at 7:18, but before, another thing here in Ohio, in some places there were extremely long lines. For those of you who voted yesterday, I did. I was able to walk in and walk out of a Summit County polling place. Actually, it took me longer to vote than to stand in line and have any lines. How long did it take you guys to vote if you voted in person yesterday?
About an hour and a half, I would say.
Woo! Where were you, Lindsay?
I was in Rocky River. I went right after I dropped my kids off for school, and it was about 12:45, but yeah, about an hour and a half.
Wow. Mo, how long did you make? Because you did absentee. I mean, not absentee, but you were early.
I did it early in person, and it took about roughly an hour. Like me getting to the line, me walking to my car was about an hour, and I'm trying to think of when that was. I mean, it
was a few weeks ago. I remember
because it wasn't last week. It was the week before.
Austin.
I was in Westlake, and it was about 35 to 40 minutes, but I came out they said this was the most dead time that they did. And the polling lady at the end, when I was turning my ballot in, said I had really nice hair. So I almost went back and put a vote in for her, a write-in.
You didn't believe her, did you?
That was really nice. Really nice of her. Yeah.
David Jasmine, last 30 seconds.
It only took me 2 minutes to vote. In and out. I'm very,
Are you serious?
Yeah. Boom.
You got it, girl.
My wife, Lindsay, and I were in and out in 30 minutes. 30.
Nice.
All righty. Well, you guys tell us how long did it take you to get in and out of the polls yesterday, or if you went in person. And we also want to continue to this conversation about who's going to be the next president. What do you guys think? It's any man's race right now. So we will continue to keep you guys updated on WKYC.com as well as the 3 News app. Have a great Wednesday, everybody. See you tomorrow morning on Go.
Hopefully we find out who the president is.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.